Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another edition of K-Rob Boxing. This is K-Rob 216. Today, this video probably gonna be a little bit longer because I'm doing like a breakdown of Manny Pacquiao's great career. He had just been inducted to the International Boxing Hall of Fame. Uh, long overdue. Long overdue. Long overdue, but anybody understands the rules about the International Boxing Hall of Fame, you have to be inactive or retired for 3 years. It was 5 years, but they just recently changed it, which I don't agree with, to 3 years. But anyways, before we get into that, though, don't you forget to like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. And we're gonna talk about his career, and I'm gonna give a take on why I think that Manny Pacquiao was the greater fighter, had the greater career than Floyd Mayweather Jr. So let's just get into it. Manny Pacquiao started his career at I want to say 16. I think he had an amateur career of 64. I think before he turned pro at 16. Won his first world title, I think, like a few years later at flyweight. I think the dude name is Sansico. I can't think of his first name, but it was Sansico or something like that, and knocked him out. I think he lost it on his second defense though. But then he ended up winning his second title against Loeba or whatever. Two-time champion. At the age of like 20 or something like that. Then he moved up. He moved up. He fought somebody. The first time I seen Manny Pacquiao fight, he fought on the Fernando Vargas undercard. This is when Fernando Vargas had just came from his knockout loss to Oscar De La Hoya. So this is his return fight. And the undercard was Manny Pacquiao. Knocked dude out in like the second, third round or something like that. I'm like, okay, this dude can bang, he got power or whatever. He got power. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, he aggressive. I like him. See if he'll see him again. He ended up fighting. His next fight exactly was the number two, however you want to put it, number one pound for pound fighter in the world at the time, the lineal featherweight champion of the world, Hall of Famer Marco Antonio Barrera. I didn't think Pacquiao had a chance to run. I'm like, he probably gonna give him a little bang for a minute, but it's gonna be over with because of his aggressive style and how Barrera at the time he welcomed somebody coming to him being aggressive because of his counterpunching abilities. And when I saw that fight, man, it was just crazy how he did. It was crazy how he just did Marco Antonio Barrera. He did that dude. He did that dude gruesome. He did Barrera gruesome for real. Where the referee had to stop his corner had to stop the fight. They had to throw in a towel. He hugging him and crying and stuff like that. They couldn't, and just like Jim Lampley said in that fight, he said no good fighter should have to go through, all them rounds of punishment. So it's definitely a good stoppage. He knocked him down in the third round. I didn't see that coming. That was only, I think, the second time I think that Marco Antonio Barrera has ever been knocked down. So his next fight against Juan Manuel Marquez. A lot of people pick Marquez to win because of his counterpunching abilities. I picked Pacquiao, but I said it was up in the air, though, because Marquez, to me, and he's still my favorite counterpuncher of all time. I want to say second would probably have to be Crawford for me, but the way he put his punches together with the Marquez put his counter punches together, I can watch him all day doing this. A thing of beauty how he was timing Manny Pacquiao. And in that fight, knocked Juan Manuel Marquez down 3 times. I think Marquez at the time was that unified IBF and WBA featherweight champion. I'm pretty sure on that. Knocked him down 3 times in the first round. I personally thought that the fight was about to be stopped, but Marquez got up and finished that fucking fight off like a warrior for real. And that was like the fight of the year for me. And they called it a draw. I think it could have went either way because he did come back and won a lot of rounds. So I know that Pacquiao went to Philippines. A lot of people don't know that he fought like a few months later, went to the Philippines, fought somebody I think named 3K Battery or something like that. I never got to see the fight though, but I do know that he did fight. But then his next fight, came against Eric Morales at 130 pounds. This was his attempt to do the 130 pound, fight at 130 pounds. Sorry about that, y'all. But he lost that fight. to the great Eric Morales, and another first ballot Hall of Famer, if I may add. And that man, and you know, he had a game plan for him. They studied film. They stopped it. They stopped him from coming in so much and stuff like that. They just had a great game plan. And Morales, he unanimously took that. He took that fight. He won that fight. So he was so comfortable on points that the 12th round, he turned around. He switched his stance to southpaw to trade with him. You know, that's that warrior inside Eric Morales. Like, fuck it, I'm winning. I'm up on the scorecards. And it almost cost him because he got buckled real bad. But anyways, though, he did take that victory. Manny Pacquiao and Freddie Roach, and this where the greatness came in at. Freddie Roach gave him a whole new regimen on his form, on his fighting. How, you know, he comes in with the 1-2, the jab, then comes with the, you know, the fast hand. He stopped him because that was his only thing. That was his only weapon he had at the time. And, you know, and Freddie Roach, being a Hall of Famer and great trainer that he is, you know, he switched up everything. He taught him how to use his other hands, use his hooks, his uppercuts, his feints. He's got good eye, hand, coordination, everything. He worked on everything. So in the rematch, you know, after they fought on the same card, Manny Pacquiao fought Hector Velasquez, I think. Eric Morales lost to Zahir Rahim. But the fight went on, though. It's a good fight. Looked like Eric Morales is about to take over again, but he turned it in the second gear. He turned it up a notch, though, I think from the 6th round on, and then he finished him in the, I forgot which round. Sorry about that. But he finished him off. And now we have a new 130-pound champion. If I want to think that's three division champion at that. So that was just greatness right there. He fought in a rematch, got him out of there in about 3 rounds or something like that. I think the fight came with Marquez. We're gonna skip a little bit to the fight with Marquez at 130 pounds. It was a unification fight, great ass fight. He knocked Marquez down in the 3rd round. They went back and forth. The fight could have went either way. Me personally, I scored that fight for Pacquiao, and Pacquiao was the victor. He was victorious in that fight. All right, that's another thing. Greatness. He finally beat Marquez. He moved up to 135. What's the man's name? I can't think of the man's name, but he had just beat Eric Morales for the belt, though. It was a 130-pound title, and he got him up out of there. Now he's the WBC lightweight champion, so I think that's a 4-division champion, if I'm not mistaken right there. So he just made history. That's another thing of greatness right there. He could have retired right there. He could have retired right there and been the first ballot Hall of Famer. No lie. Then he did the impossible. This is the thing that this is where the real greatness, where he was just going down. This is when he started making all the money and the million pay-per-view buys and stuff like that. He did the unthinkable by going up in weight and fighting Oscar De La Hoya. He was 135, but we know that he was really 130-pounder still. Maybe could have made 126 pounds, but he moved up to welterweight to fight Oscar De La Hoya. I forgot how big of an underdog that he was, though, but a lot of people didn't want to see this fight because they thought Oscar was going to kill him. He was a 154-pounder. He went up to middleweight. And got him a belt before getting dethroned by Bernard Hopkins and then getting dethroned by Floyd Mayweather. And so a lot of people didn't like this fight. I personally didn't like this myself. I thought Oscar was just trying to beat Manny Pacquiao to get back in the pound-for-pound rankings. That's how I was thinking back then. But he upset at the odds. He shocked the world. Got Oscar out of there. I want to say around the 8th and the 9th round. Punished him. Just all types of Oscar couldn't keep up. And to Oscar credit, he was drained. He hasn't been in 147 pounds, I want to say, since the year 2000 or something like that. 2000. Yeah, 2000. I think when he lost to Shane Mosley. And so 8 years later, you're trying to squeeze back down into 147 pounds when you went up as far as middleweight. So we're going to give you that. But it's a sting of beauty, though, that you stopped a man that was 2 times bigger than you. You know, Oscar walk-around rate at the time was around at 180 or something like that. And he just punished him. And so then that's where he made history at. And then his next fight fought Ricky Hatton. So I didn't know how to feel about that fight at the time. I thought that he was going to be the clear winner. I thought he was going to win, but I thought Ricky Hatton was going to give him trouble, though. And this one was for the lineal 140-pound title. got him out of there. Got him out of there real quick in the second round. And we all seen that fight, so I don't have to. I really don't have to discuss about what happened because it was only 2 rounds. So I don't really have to, got him on the chin, knocked him out cold. He's the new lineal 140-pound champion. Next up, though, he fought Miguel Cotto. This fight right here, I honestly, I'm like, man, I don't know if he's biting off more than he could chew right now. Now he's fighting a healthy Cotto, a man that doesn't have to squeeze all the way down when he's been at middleweight. This is his weight right here, 147. Even though I think the fight was contracted at 145, and he just Manny Pacquiao looked so good in that fight against Miguel Cotto. He just looked scary. Just looked scary, man. And that's what I say when this is like when greatness occurs, when you're fighting people and you're not supposed to be beating them. You coming all the way from 100 from the flyweight division all the way to welterweight, and the way he did Cotto, and it just seemed like Cotto even showed him mercy at times. I'm like, this dude can't be stopped, you know. And so yeah, and then that was that, and it was one of those fights that night that I was up at night. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, like how did this dude do this, man? And then and then we was about to see the mega fight of a lifetime against Floyd Mayweather. But that fight never came to fruition because of a drug test or whatever. Floyd wanted Olympic-style drug testing. Manny Pacquiao didn't want to do it because he thought he was going to weaken him to take all that blood from him and stuff like that. So the fight never happened. He ended up fighting a durable, very durable, one of the most durable fighters I ever seen fight before, Joshua Clottey. Got him out of there. And didn't get him out of there. I'm sorry about that. Unanimous decision. But then he moved up to 154 pounds, though. And, and this figure, Antonio Margarito, the disgraced Antonio Margarito, messed up his orbital bone. And, we seen that Antonio Margarito was never the same after that fight. So, man, he had like a couple of defenses and stuff like that. I want to say he fought Shane Mosley after that. I think that he was Shane Mosley was only knocked down twice by Vernon Forrest. And Manny Pacquiao knocked him down. You can see in his eyes that he was visibly very, very hurt. So hurt that Shane Mosley told Floyd Mayweather that you should get him tested for steroids or whatever. Those are facts, and that's just the greatness that Pacquiao brings. And then comes like I want to say last thing I can remember, and around that era, at that time is the fights that he had with the losses, the setbacks that he had. And this is part of his story. This is what makes him great, his setbacks, against Tim Bradley, where everybody saw that Manny Pacquiao was the clear winner, one of the worst decisions in boxing history. And then he fought Marquez, they fought for the third time. Manny Pacquiao won that fight, but it could have still went either way. But being the warrior that Manny Pacquiao is, he gave Juan Manuel Marquez a rematch. And we seen how that the great Marquez knocked him out cold, flat on his face, man. And this is part of his story, man. He came back, regrouped, got a couple victories. I want to say against Brandon Rios, and then I think he fought Chris Algieri, beat him. He beat both of them by the decision. I think he gained him another belt when he fought Chris Algieri. So we're gonna fast forward to the fight with Manny Pacquiao, man. With Floyd Mayweather. The biggest fight, highest grossing fight in history still to this day, 4.6 pay-per-view buys. With this fight, Manny Pacquiao, I was rooting for that fight, but I didn't see him beating Floyd Mayweather based off because he wasn't the same fighter that he was in 2008 and 2009 and 2010 and stuff. You see those knockouts and those, the loss from Marquez, it took a toll on him or whatever. He just didn't have the same, it just wasn't the same no more. I was competitive, and yeah, it was highly criticized because it was a boring fight, but not to me because I'm a fan. I'm a hardcore fan of the sport. It's my passion, so I enjoyed every minute of seeing how great these two fighters fight. How Floyd was using his footwork and just using his footwork, and they can call it runner if they want to. It's called hit and not hit. That's the game. That's the name of the game. But Manny Pacquiao, he lost. Lost to Jeff Horn. I think he came back after after the Floyd Mayweather loss. Came back, beat Tim Bradley again. I think he beat him like 2 times. He beat him 2 times. I forgot about that. I'm sorry about that. I forgot to bring that up that he beat Tim Bradley after the first fight. Where the controversial loss that Manny Pacquiao received to Tim Bradley. Tim Bradley gave him 2 more. They fought 2 more times, and Floyd was victorious. And I want to say he lost to Jeff Horn. And again another controversial decision. But then what did he do though, man? What did he do? He regrouped, and I want to say he came back and he fought a couple fighters. I know he got Batiste out of there. He knocked Batiste out, and that was like his first knockout in like 7 years. But it's the great part about it is though, like just how he was that old, and he's the oldest welterweight champion in the world in the history right now. He holds that record being 40 years old. He came back and beat a young Keith Thurman and beat him decisively, man. And that caps off like a great career. Yes, he lost to Ugas in his next bout, but he was inactive for about 2 years. But just him coming back like after back-to-back losses, this is what makes him greater than Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather has never been an underdog in his career, and he's 50-0. Hear me out. He's 50-0. Yes. He's definitely 50-0, and he is for a reason. He's beat the most world champions of all time. He is who he is. But we're talking about greatness, though. Yes, Floyd may be better than him physically, may be a better boxer, but we're just talking about greatness, a great career. He's been an underdog numerous times. He's 40. He was 40 years old, and he beat a young Keith Thurman in his prime. Keith Thurman and beat him very convincingly. Just a lot of things he did with the Miguel Cottos of the world, the Ricky Hattons of the world, the Eric Morales. He got the name the Mexicutioner. And the Mexicans, they accepted that, man. You talk about a man coming from 100, what was that, flyweight, 114 pounds, something like that, but just moving all the way up like that, and that's very, 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 very rare. It's very rare that fighters can do that. You got some like Roy Jones Jr., you got some like Bernard Hopkins and stuff like that. Floyd Mayweather did the same thing, Oscar De La Hoya, but to do it in his fashion, just coming from like a little flyweight, it's impressive. Just the number of heart. He faced everybody in their prime. He didn't duck anybody. People could say that he ducked Terrence Crawford and stuff like that. I just think the money situation wasn't what it was. He was going through a real bad breakup with Bob Arum and stuff like that. So, but he never ducked anybody though, man. He got 8 losses. He got 2 draws. That's because he fought the best. He fought the best. Not taking away anything from Floyd Mayweather. Anything, man. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Well deserved. One of the best boxers in history of the sport. But man, it was just what Pacquiao did for his country. He's a senator now. What he did for his country, giving out money. I think he was giving out $100 to everybody, just feeding his family. What he's done, just a great man altogether, and just what he's done for the sport. Generated a lot of money. I think he's the second highest grossing. I want to be the second or the third. Canelo probably will pass him up soon. But man, it was just a great career. I can't wait to see the International Boxing Hall of Fame. I do want to go there one day for a weekend and get to see all the great boxers and stuff. And I really can't wait to see what he says in his speech, in Canastota, New York, in June of 2025. It's just like I said, just one of the greatest I've ever seen in my life. I was real young. It was about, like I said, 21 years ago when I first seen Manny Pacquiao hit the scene, and it was just a hell of a career. One of the best careers I've seen in my life. Is he my favorite fighter? He's one of my favorite fighters. My favorite fighter of all time is Bernard Hopkins, but it doesn't matter, man. Hats off to Manny Pacquiao, man. You had a hell of a career, man. There's rumors that you're coming back to fight Mario Barrios. I strongly disagree on that. Stay retired. Stay being that man for your country. You did all you did in the ring. Ain't nothing left to prove. Nobody's going to break your records for a long time. You're an 8th divisional world champion, 4-time lineal champion. Ain't nobody gonna break your records for a long time. That's something the great stuff is the Sugar Ray Robinsons, the Sugar Ray Leonards, the Alis, and those type of things. They have done nothing like that, man. It's just greatness all along, and I'm comfortable and I'm sure, and I stand on what I say that Manny Pacquiao had a greater career than Floyd Mayweathers. And so that's all the time that I got today, y'all. I just want to, give a salute to Manny Pacquiao because I know he's getting inducted to the Hall of Fame this year. And just want to state my case and let y'all know how great that man is. Go ahead and watch these fights of the names that I've been throwing out. A lot of fight of the years and stuff like that. A lot of fighter of the years by the Ring Magazine, pound for pound list for a long time. The list can go on, man. But before I get up out of here, man, don't forget to like and subscribe, comment. If there's anything y'all want y'all want to talk about, a discussion or something like that, let me know. I'll be more than happy to talk about it. Just let me know, man. But don't forget to like and subscribe. Y'all have a good day, man. I'm about to chill with my family, probably watch some college football or something like that, man. I hope y'all just have a great day, too. Thank you.